Right guys, so why are we going on the trip? So I've never been like a full Troopy head, proper flogged out after 60 to 80,000 Ks. I've been trying to find that balance between what I want and what I need. None of those cars blew my mind. So I wanted to do the maths and the measurements on that. I knew in my heart that I really wanted one of those cars. So stick around guys, and I hope you find this video interesting. Hey legends, welcome back to another video. So I thought I'd do another little video. So I've been a bit quiet guys on the video front. I've had a few delays on a few projects, so I haven't been able to put together some full videos for you guys. So I thought I'd sit down, have a coffee, have a bit of a discussion with you guys on why I actually bought the Troop Carrier for this upcoming trip. Guys, as you'll all know, that we're so blessed in Australia, we've got so many different options for cars that could do this trip. So whether you're towing a caravan, or whether you want to set yourself up solo, so either with a conversion or a rooftop tent, we do have heaps of different options for four-wheel drives. I'm just going to go through all the different reasons why I chose the Troop Carrier. A lot of people probably think of the Troop Carrier as just being like a little bit inconvenient, a bit big, bulky, and not really flexible, I suppose. I'm going to go through my thought process in regards to this and show you guys why it definitely works for us. And not only just for the trip, but hopefully for life after the trip. So stick around guys, and I hope you find this video interesting. Right guys, so why are we going on the trip? So like a lot of other people and other families, it generally comes down to an eye-opening situation that someone's been through, either yourself or in the family, that kind of kicks you into gear to think, you know, let's live life now, let's get out there and let's see some stuff. And basically that's what happened to us. So just in our family group, we've had a few little situations over the past 5 or 6 years, you know, where things have happened and we basically just want to get out there together as a family and get out there and go see some stuff and make some memories. So that's what's kicked us into gear for this trip. And that's why I've had to go out and buy a new car for it. So my previous car was an old MK Triton. I had it for 14 years. I put 330,000 Ks on it or something like that. And it was a really good car. After this first 6 months, I was going to sell it. And then, yeah, 14 years later, I couldn't come around to selling it. It didn't break on me, so I was like, yeah, I'll just keep it until I find the car that I really, really want and I know that I want to keep. So basically, over the years, there was so many different cars that popped up and I was like, oh, maybe yeah, I might get that, but I never had my heart set on anything. I just waited until I felt really confident about that next car, because as I said, it done everything that Triton that I needed it to do. So when we all decided that we're gonna go on a trip, that's when I had to start thinking hard about the next car that I really wanted. So obviously I didn't want to set the Triton up. I didn't want to spend money on that to do the trip. It wasn't gonna be suitable for us either. So I was looking at different options of what cars to get. So obviously with that dual cab ute, it was practical. So I went down that road to start off with. I was looking at all those different vehicles. So pretty much I was looking at the Tritons, the new Tritons again, the Nissans, the Toyota Hiluxes as well. You know, we all know that Toyotas are reliable and that Hiluxes are good. I test drove them. They all basically felt the same. Like none of those cars blew my mind. I just didn't feel that comfortable in the car. It just didn't excite me and I didn't want to go out there and just outlay that money for something that I just didn't really love. Now at work, we have those Land Cruisers. We have the 79 series in the single cabs at work. I've been driving them for like the last 10 or so years. So the reliability of these Land Cruisers, like these things are at work and they're on the harshest roads that you could think of. These things are like, these Land Cruisers are proper flogged out after like, you know, 60 to 80,000 Ks. So any other car, they're trialing other cars at the moment, which just keep breaking. Just won't last. So, you know, that was a big reason as well why I wanted to have the Land Cruiser. Like you buy it once, buy it right. Having the V8 engine and the power and torque and also the note on those things appealed to me. That was all these different reasons that went into why I wanted to buy a Land Cruiser. But I was always shied away from the price. I just could not justify that kind of expense for a vehicle. But I still went to the Toyota place and then jumped in a 79 series dual cab. And then drove that around. It was a second-hand car and it had a few modifications on it. And the vehicles that are at work compared to one that's basically low case and it's never really been off-road is like chalk and cheese. They're totally different vehicles. So that's where I was at, was the 79 series dual cab, and I started to go down that road. That process started with looking at what was available. Same thing, I was getting shied away from the price. The second-hand price, obviously, I was looking at prices, looking how much you could get them for new, and then trying to do the maths on buying something that someone had already set up. So obviously doing that, you got to just cop on the chin the fact that of what accessories that they've chosen, compared to building it from scratch. And I'm sure that all you guys know that as soon as you buy the 79 series, then you need to look at tray options, canopy options, and all that sort of stuff. If you are going to set it up for off-grid and overlanding, you know that there's a lot of stuff that goes into those canopies to make that doable. And then obviously you need to start thinking of a sleeping option. So the initial thought was the rooftop tent, which there's pros and cons about those things. They're a lot cheaper. You can just bolt it onto your roof and then take it off when you need to. And that just rolls off the tongue, but it is they're quite big and heavy, and that's a bit of a mission to get done. So, and obviously a big con is that they're just for sleeping in. You know, you can't really hang it in it for the day or most of the day or whatever, or, you know, get out of the weather or stuff like that. Like you basically just get in it, sleep, and then get out. So that's a little bit of a hindrance to that. I was looking at all those options for the 79. The other thing was I had to put it somewhere. So I purchased this house a few years ago. This is going to be the house. This is probably going to be a house forever moving forward. So I had to make sure that it was going to be suitable for this house. Now, I'm pretty lucky with the height of that garage door. That's 2.4 meters. So the height is pretty good, but the length is a problem. So it's only 5.5 meters, and there's no give. I can't really just knock that back brick wall out. So that was gonna kind of limit me into what I'd done as well. If I did go down the road of the 79 series, obviously it was gonna be custom tray, jack off canopy to have that flexibility. So then I'd have to store that somewhere as well. Then also the height. Like 79 series, 2-inch lift, roof rack, rooftop tent, probably going to be higher than that 2.4. So it's not going to fit with that rooftop tent on height or length. So that's a problem. So I was trying to look at other options and what I could do. And then I did look at a troop carrier a while ago at a car yard. Yeah, there was one in a car yard available. I know. It did appeal to me, but I couldn't see how I was going to make it work. So I started looking at the troop carriers. I saw one on Instagram that had the roof conversion, and I didn't know much about them at that point in time. So I've never been like a full like troopy head my whole life. Yep, converted. So I wanted to do the maths and the measurements on that and see how it was going to suit and if it was going to tick all my boxes. So I started looking into it. I started checking all the standard specs, and I could see that it was going to be super close. It was going to be very close to where it was going to be in the shed here. So I started looking into it. I started looking at the used car market and just looking at prices as well. And the ones that were fully built were pretty pricey. Like no roof conversion, just the ones that were, you know, I had all the basics. So like, you know, suspension and bull bar and the basic fit out in the back. You know, one of them with low Ks was pretty high side. One of the blokes from work actually purchased one just before I did. And I quizzed him about it, and he told me what he paid for his. And I was like, yeah, right, that's pretty reasonable for a brand new one. So then I started looking at the maths in regards to putting your accessories onto that vehicle. It was still going to be pretty pricey. I'm not going to lie, I probably got sucked into a bit of false sense of security with that initial purchase price. As we all know that these accessories are extremely expensive when you start just pumping them on there. When you're trying to build like an overland vehicle, like what I'm trying to do, each little bit doesn't seem very expensive, but once you get that whole entire build completed, then that price just ramps up really quick. I've been trying to find that balance between what I want and what I need, but also trying to make sure that I'm getting quality components in there. I'm trying to build this car to keep it. So that's my plan after the trip. So I want to build the car for the trip and then keep it for after the trip. So I'm trying to make sure that everything I do is suitable for that, and it's going to suit me and Lydia moving forward after the trip as well. So as we all know, we just don't know what happens in life. So I want to make sure that this is suitable and has quality components in it. So if I have to sell it for whatever reason, I'm not going to have any real issues. It's going to be built from quality components It's going to be suited up very well, so it's going to be suitable for a lot of people. So that resale debate really played on me in regards to what vehicle that I purchased. So say for example, you go and buy like a Triton or a Nissan or something like that. The extras that you put on that vehicle, so your suspension, your wheels, your bull bar, your performance mods, your tray, your canopy, all of those extras are very similar price regardless of what car you get. Those particular dual cabs just don't really have the resale value of a lot of these other vehicles, so your Land Cruisers and stuff like that. So although the initial price is more expensive, the extras, depending on what you're gonna do, is the same. So if you can try and maximize your resale, that's how I justified it in my head anyway. So I was like, okay, it's gonna cost me an extra 20 grand to buy the car, but I'm easily gonna make that 20 grand back whenever I have to sell it throughout my entire life. So that was my thought process. So the biggest expense for the Troopy is obviously that rooftop conversion. I'm trying to do the conversion, but just make sure that I have that flexibility to still keep it as a car after the trip. And also if we want to just go away for the weekend, it's all set up. We can just jump straight in it, drive it out the garage, and then just go wherever we want. So we don't have to set it up all the time, but still keep it day-to-day usable. If I need to take the boat down the boat ramp or whatever, I can just go. So I think I just need to talk about as well, like the thought process around why I'm actually trying to set up a vehicle itself. Like why don't I just go get a caravan or a camper trailer or something? So there is a big reason for this, and that reason is that I want to tow a boat with me. So my parents and my brother, they are taking caravans, but I just wanted to make sure that I had a vehicle that was suitable as a standalone camper, so then I can tow a proper boat, not just a little pissant tinny that I can just stick on the roof or something like that. So I just wanted to make sure that I could get offshore a little bit more for the trip. Something that's a little bit bigger, so not just a rooftopper, so you'll see that very shortly. Yeah, so that's the main reason why I'm trying to build a vehicle that I can just live out of, as opposed to just going to buy a caravan. So that also leads me to beyond the trip. I am building this car for beyond the trip. So if I want to go away, take the boat up the dam or whatever overnight, you know, I've got everything there suitable. If I want to go away camping for 2 weeks, then I've got everything there as well. And I don't have to be reliant on power or anything like that. I can just go. So would I recommend the Troopy to a family? I can't see why not, honestly. Lydia and I don't have kids, so I can't really comment too much on babies and all that sort of stuff. I would have to imagine that you would have to have a second car to make it easier to get the baby seats in and out because it is a 2-door. I 100% get that. But if you had a young family, I can't see why it would be an issue with a troop carrier. Me and my brother had to jump in the back of a 2-door MQ Patrol for all of our early childhood. Wasn't an issue, it was a bit of a novelty really, if anything. I reckon it's awesome in the back seat anyway. Not that I've been there too many times, but I don't think it's a game changer, guys. Like if you got a young family, I can't see why you could not own a troop carrier with the 2 doors in it. So you got your 3 seats in the back, you can put your child restraints in the back, there's no problems there. And if you stick around and keep watching my videos, you will see that you can have a converted 5-seater Troopy. Yeah, so in regards to the length and height of the Troopy, so now that I've got my rear bar on, rear wheel carrier, my bull bar at the front there, and then the roof conversion is getting done as we speak. Hence why there's no Troopy there. And it should be back by now, but they've had problems. So hopefully that's gonna be schmicko and it'll come back shortly. But we've done all the height measurements, we've done all the maths, and it's gonna sneak in there. So that means I can have my car securely locked away. I can move around the car in here. Massive peace of mind to know that I've got that vehicle locked away. So it's gonna work out really well, guys. So I'm really stoked with that. Yeah, so the roof conversion on the Troopy is just such a game changer in regards to the fact that like you can't always choose your weather. So you're gonna pull up at a campsite, and if it's bucketing down, then you don't have to get out of the car, try and get your tent, like your rooftop tent set up, and then just get a wet ass before you get in there, you know? So with the roof conversion, you can literally just park the car, jump over the back, pop your clasps on your rooftop conversion, and then just push it up. You're not getting wet. You're not having to get out in the rain to try and settle your stuff up. It was a massive positive for me to go with the troop carrier, and then obviously go with the roof conversion, and also the actual conversion that I'm going for. and also the fact that it just folds down to almost nothing and it fits in the shed without having to pull a massive big rooftop tent off and then put it back on when you want to go away. It's just there, ready, open the garage door and go. So I hope this video has been constructive for you guys. And if you're umming and ahhing about what vehicles to take and that, there's some information there for you that you can run through your head and just try and figure it out. I just thought that I would share my thought process in the lead up and the build of this process. And hopefully it'll help you guys that are going through the same situation. If you've been following my channel for a while now, you know that I've been doing little project videos, so little installation type videos. If you like that and if you want me to keep on doing that kind of style of video, just comment below guys and let me know what you think. So we're leading up to the trip now, so we're less than 2 months away. So I'm gonna be under the pump. As soon as this car comes back, I'm just gonna be flat out until I leave, I reckon. None of the back fit out's been done yet, so I'm gonna have to go through that, do all that, and there's some odds and ends that I still need to complete and finish off as well. So let me know if you want to do those little project videos or if you'd prefer a weekly vlog style video of just where I'm at, how I'm progressing, and then follow that right up to when we leave, because I think it's probably going to get pretty hectic and I reckon those videos might be a little bit more appealing. So just let me know your thoughts. I'm happy to be interactive with you guys and work with you, and if that's what you want to watch, then mad, I'll just do that. That'd be cool. But make sure you comment and just let me know your thoughts, just so I know what you guys would like to see. So things are getting exciting, guys. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and then follow us on this journey moving forward until we leave. 1st of June that we'll be leaving, not too far off now. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy the videos. Hook in.